Hello everyone, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we'll do a detailed comparison of the new Microsoft Lumia 640 with the Nokia Lumia 730. So these two phones are basically mid-range devices from Microsoft, and the Lumia 730, which was announced last year, was probably the last device with the Nokia branding, and today we have the Lumia 640 with almost similar specs in the same category, but there is a difference in price point. So we'll do a detailed comparison on how these devices vary, and also what are the difference in the hardware and the software aspects. So before we go into the detailed aspects of the review, let's first have a quick look at the specs of these two phones. So first up, let's see the Lumia 640. So this was released a couple of days back, and this comes with a 5-inch HD display, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 400 quad-core processor with 1GB RAM, and it has 8GB internal storage. There is 8-megapixel rear camera and a front-facing 1-megapixel camera, and it runs Windows Phone 8.1 with the latest update. And this also has a 2500 mAh battery. So that was the spec aspect of the Lumia 640. Now moving on to the 730. So this was one of the popular devices in the mid-range category when it was launched last year. So this again comes with a 4.7-inch HD display, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 400 quad-core processor with 1GB RAM and 8GB internal storage. On the camera aspect, this has a 6.7-megapixel rear camera with Zeiss optics, and this also has a front 5-megapixel camera for selfies and video calls. And this runs Windows Phone 8.1, but we have right now installed Windows 10 technical preview on this device, so that's the reason this has a different kind of looks. But on the whole, this has Windows Phone 8.1 with the Lumia Denim update, and this has a 2220 mAh battery powering this device. So if you look at the specifications of these two smartphones, there are lots of similarities, like the processor, the RAM, the internal storage, and the OS as well. So, but there are differences in terms of the screen size, and also minor changes which we'll talk about in this detailed comparison. So let's first go into the design and build quality aspect of these two smartphones. So in the design aspect, you can see the Lumia 640 has a lot of similarities with the 630, which was released last year. So you can see the edges are flat on all the sides, and also the rear panel is flat, but although there is a slight curvature towards the edges. So all in all, this device looks a lot similar to the 630, which was announced last year. And this also comes with the cyan variant, which was not available in a lot of other devices. So this device now comes with the cyan color, and this also has a glossy finish, and the overall build quality of the device looks pretty good, and the overall fit and finish looks pretty interesting. And this has been a trademark of all the Microsoft devices. They come with a really great build quality, and this has a glossy finish. So on the hardware button, you can see the power and the volume keys on the right side. No buttons on the left side. We have the 8-megapixel rear camera with LED flash, and the speakers and the Microsoft logo. On the top, you have the 3.5mm audio jack, and at the bottom you have the micro USB charging slot. And on the front panel, you have the 5-inch HD display, the 1-megapixel front camera, the usual set of sensors, and the 3 on-screen buttons which can be minimized. You can see here, this is the minimization options. So that is almost similar to the recent Lumia devices. Now going to the Lumia 730, which was launched last year, this has a 4.7-inch HD display, and the design looks very similar to the Lumia 920, which was the first Windows Phone. It has a really good design. You can see the power and the volume keys on the right side, again similar to the Lumia 640. No keys on the left side, the 3.5mm audio jack on the top, and the micro USB charging slot at the bottom. And the rear panel has 6.7 megapixel camera with Zeiss optics and LED flash, and you can see there is a dedicated microphone for the camera which is absent on the Lumia 640, and you have the speakers at the bottom. And this was probably the last Nokia branded device which was released, and now on this is the Microsoft Lumia instead of the Nokia Lumia. So in the design aspect, the Lumia 730 is much more compact and lightweight when compared to the Lumia 640. But having said that, if you're looking for a bigger display, the Lumia 640 is a better choice because it has a 5-inch display when compared to the 4.7-inch on the Lumia 730. So in the design and build quality aspect, both these devices are pretty good. They have almost similar thickness. And they come with really great build quality, and you also have the cyan color on the 640, and the Lumia 730 comes with a matte finish when compared to the glossy finish on the 640. So that was the design and build quality aspect. Now moving on to the display, as you said before, both these devices come with a HD display, that's a 720p display. But having said that, there are changes with respect to the display configuration. The Lumia 640 comes with a 5-inch HD display, that's a IPS LCD panel. On the other hand, the Lumia 730 has a OLED panel which has a 4.7-inch display. So there is a display, there is a change with respect to the display panels. One is IPS LCD, one is OLED panel. Apart from that, the Lumia 730 also has a super sensitive touch option available, while that is not available on the 640. And also both these devices have the Corning Gorilla Glass 3D protection. So in that aspect, both these devices are pretty much similar. And I can see the viewing angles and the quality, overall quality of the display is almost similar on both these devices. There isn't a real winner in terms of the display. Both these have really great viewing angles, and the colors look very much vibrant and sharp, and they are pretty good. Although the Lumia 730 has higher pixels per inch because it has a smaller display, so that is something different when compared to the 640 in terms of the display aspect. Both these devices have the on-screen buttons. They don't have capacitive touch buttons. They are on screen, they can be minimized. So that was the display aspect. So both these devices are really good in terms of the display. So it's up to the user to decide whether they want a bigger display or a compact display in terms of the display size. But having said that, the touch response and overall quality of display is really good on both these devices, and they both come with clear black technology, which has been a trademark of Microsoft Lumia devices. Now moving on to the software and performance. Here there isn't much to choose because both these devices run Windows Phone 8.1 with the latest update. Although the Lumia 640 has its update 2 which was rolled out recently, so that doesn't bring a lot of changes into the device, but still there are some minor changes, and you get almost same features on both these devices. And the performance side, again, both have the same Snapdragon quad-core processor with 1GB RAM and 8GB internal storage. So again, the performance on both these devices are very similar. No real winner here because in terms of the performance, both these are powered by the same Snapdragon processor and have really great performance. There is lag-free experience. And if you're looking for a better gaming experience, we would suggest the Lumia 640 just because it has a bigger display, and the overall performance in terms of gaming experience is exactly same on both these devices, except for the fact we said the Lumia 640 has a bigger display, so ideally gaming might be a little better experience on the 640. So overall, we would say in terms of the software and experience performance side, both these devices are exactly similar, and both these come with dual SIM cards. There is one change with respect to the hardware here. The Lumia 730 comes with NFC enabled, so in case you are using NFC for a lot of transactions or other aspects, the Lumia 730 has that option, while the 640 does not feature the NFC chip built in. Now moving on to the camera experience. So both these devices have a really good camera in this price point. So we already have uploaded a camera sample comparison of these two smartphones, the Lumia 730 with the 640 in terms of the video recording as well as the camera quality. So talking about the Lumia 640, this has the 8 megapixel camera, and this has the new Lumia camera interface, so that's the default camera interface. And we already talked about this camera sample and also video recording. This is a pretty good camera in this price point, but what is disappointing about this camera is that the low light performance is pretty much not really up to the expectation of a Lumia camera, but the daylight shots are pretty good, and the camera recording, the 1080p camera recording also is pretty good. Now coming to the Lumia 730, this is one area where the Lumia 730 has an advantage, that's the camera. Although this has only a 6.7 megapixel camera, this has the size optics and also a dedicated microphone for recording. So those two are important aspects when you consider the camera, and the camera quality is also pretty good when compared to the Lumia 640. Now there is one important aspect with respect to the camera, that's the front camera, where these two devices differ. While the Lumia 640 has a 1 megapixel camera, the Lumia 730 has a 5 megapixel front camera for selfies and video calls. So the 5 megapixel front camera is really good when compared to the 1 megapixel on the 640. So if you're looking for a selfie experience, the 730 is obvious choice with a 5 megapixel camera. So in the camera aspect, we would say in the overall performance, the low light is pretty impressive on the 730 when compared to the 640. So in the overall experience, we would say the Lumia 730 has a slightly better camera overall performance when compared to the 640. Even though the 640 has an 8 megapixel camera, we would say this, the 730 has a slight edge in terms of the camera performance. Now talking about the battery experience, the Lumia 640 comes with a 2500 mAh battery, while the Lumia 730 has a 2220 mAh battery. Although the battery capacity on the 640 is higher, it also has to power a bigger display, that's a 5-inch display when compared to the 4.7-inch on the Lumia 730. When we did the review of the Lumia 730, we said the battery performance was really one of the strong points of the 730, and we can say that even the 640 also has a very good battery performance. So 2500 mAh battery can power the device for almost more than a day with average usage. So that's the case with the 730 as well. So in the battery performance, we can say both these devices are pretty good, and they come with a great performance in the mid-range category. So summing up, we have talked about the display, the performance, the software, the camera, the design and build. So it's so we cannot say one device is better than the other. So it's a personal choice whether you want a bigger display, that's the 640, or you want a much more compact device, that's the 730. If you're looking for a better camera experience, we would suggest the Lumia 730 because it has a better low light performance. So the display is also slightly better on the Lumia 730 because it has a smaller display, the HD display, and even it has a super sensitive touch and an OLED panel when compared to the IPS LCD on the Lumia 640. Now the battery performance and the overall software and performance are almost similar on both these devices. Again, design and build, we would give it to the users to decide on whether they want the design of the Lumia 640 or the design of the 730. So that was the detailed comparison of two mid-range devices from Microsoft, the Lumia 640 with the Lumia 730. Now there is a clear price difference between these two devices. So for additional pricing for the Lumia 730, which is now priced 13.5k, while the Lumia 640 is priced 12k. So for additional pricing of 1.5k, you get a slightly better display. There is super sensitive touch, there is NFC, there is better camera, and there is additional microphone in the Lumia 730. So it's up to the user to decide whether they want these additional features or they want a budget smartphone, which is 640, which is an all-round phone in terms of the hardware and the performance. So that was a detailed comparison of Lumia 640 with the Lumia 730. Hope you liked this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we will be glad to help you out with the queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.